The child sex abuse crisis that has plagued the Catholic Church has tormented victims and no doubt made many lose their faith in the Church and its shepherds. Protecting children and rebuilding the Church is the priority and job of the Catholic bishops. This past Monday, Bishop Mitchell ROZANSKI met with local news media to discuss efforts underway nationally and here in Western Massachusetts. CAROLEE McGrath has the story.
Springfield Bishop Mitchell ROZANSKI sat down in an exclusive interview with members of Catholic Communications to discuss the recent fall assembly of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops in Baltimore. At the meeting, the bishops focused on the child sex abuse crisis. The bishops unveiled standards to strengthen the protection of children, including accountability for the bishops themselves. No vote was taken. The Vatican asked for a delay in the vote until a February meeting in Rome.
So when Cardinal DiNardo announced that the Vatican had asked us not to take a vote, I felt, and I think my fellow bishops felt, the wind was taken out of the sails. It was almost, what do we do now? However, as we tended to explore why the Vatican had asked us not to vote specifically on the recommendations that we had, you can kind of see the larger picture. And the larger picture is, in February, the Holy Father has called together all of the bishops who are presidents of their national conferences to meet in Rome and to work out a resolution of accountability and having in the Church a universal sense of addressing the sexual abuse crisis.
In late August, news broke of decades of sexual abuse and cover-up revealed in a Pennsylvania grand jury report. Several state attorneys general are now looking into similar sex abuse allegations and how they were handled by the Church. So, Bishop, what would you say to a person who has been hurt and betrayed by the Church? Because obviously, Jesus' heart is broken by this scandal.
You know, all of our hearts are broken when we hear of any of this. But I believe, first of all, the important thing is to listen to the person. Allow the person to speak, to voice his or her hurt, the feelings that they're grappling with and have been grappling with for many years. It is amazing to me to realize that there are some people who've held this crime against them to themselves for 40 and 50 years before they were even able to speak about it. So allowing the victim to speak about his or her feelings and everything that's been pent up for all of those years is to make the person feel that it's safe to give voice to that is very important. Then I apologize in the name of the Church that this has happened to them.
Since 2002 and the revelations of child sex abuse in Massachusetts, several changes have been made and policies have been put in place in the Diocese of Springfield to protect children. The Diocese's Safe Environment Program includes comprehensive criminal background checks for employees and volunteers, in addition to online Virtus training called Protecting God's Children.
I think we have to realize what the crime and sin of sexual abuse means to victims. It means that they were betrayed by a person in authority who was there and should have been there to protect them. So that is really the ultimate betrayal.
The horror of the child sex abuse crisis has caused many people to leave the Church and has prompted others to ask themselves the question, why am I even Catholic? The answer to that question is pretty simple, but often it's hard to articulate. Bishop ROZANSKI says he's like everyone else, angry and heartbroken.
My faith is in Jesus Christ. He promised to be with us always, even to the end of time. And so that's my hope and my salvation. That's why when I throw up my hands and I get frustrated, I can't walk away. Because I love the Lord. I believe that He established our Church so that we could find the way to salvation in Him.
Bishop, I understand that the diocese has some listening sessions and other events upcoming so that we can all join together in dealing with the abuse crisis going forward. Could you talk about some of those special events that are coming up?
Well, first of all, I do want to say that many people, many lay people have approached me at different events and said, Bishop, in the light of this crisis, what can we do to resolve this? Well, I don't know if we can ever fully resolve this. However, those who come forward, I can say, always be aware. And in being aware, then we are proactive.
The bishop says the diocese will be holding a day of prayer in January. He is asking all parishes to remain open so people can pray specifically for abuse victims and for healing. This will be followed by listening sessions to be held in January and February, and then a diocesan-wide prayer service will be held March 3rd simultaneously at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield and at St. Joseph Parish in Pittsfield.
In each of those ways, I'm hoping that we can express as a community our hurt, our pain, but also in all of our hurt and pain, we turn to the Lord Jesus, who helps us through that to give us healing and to give us wholeness.
You can read more about the interview with Bishop ROZANSKI on iobserve.org. Reporting for Real to Real, I'm CAROLEE McGrath.
And we will certainly keep following this story and keep you up to date on further developments.